Good morning, sirs. I have returned to talk some shit. I want to talk to you about a couple of three things. Of course, as always, I'm talking about Team Fortress 2. The first thing I want to talk about is the SDK. Now, you might be saying, hey, Gabba, what are you talking about? What the fuck is an SDK? And hey, that's my point exactly. I don't think anyone even remembers this shit, but hey, I remember. I remember. See, the reason why I'm bringing this up, the reason why I even remember this shit, is because there was a time when this year was just starting, when people were talking about a topic that actually matters for Team Fortress 2. And the discourse, the discussion, whatever you want to call it, in this game was focused on that topic. And that topic was becoming more and more prominent. And of course, I am talking about Quickplay. You know, people were saying, hey, casual sucks dick. And of course, I agree. I am of the opinion that casual matchmaking must be destroyed. And, you know, there used to be the system before casual matchmaking in TF2 that was Quickplay. And it's better in literally every single fucking way. And, you know, people were starting to have that debate and that discussion was being talked about. And that was the most important topic. And I was hoping that that was going to stay the most important topic. And it was going to stay in the fucking public arena until, of course, inevitably the public opinion and the public pressure forces Valve to bring back quick play and you know, make TF2 great again. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then guess what? This SDK shit comes out. And all of that discussion basically goes away since that day. And people got a distraction, and they fell for that distraction. And you know, the fucking discussion about quick play is pretty fucking dead right now. And you could say that I'm a little bit upset by this. You know, my jimmies are just a little bit rustled. Not even a little bit, a big fucking bit. You know, because you had an actual important topic that was getting more and more traction, and it got buried by the first motherfucking distraction coming out of WoW with this SDK nothing burger to end all nothing burgers. So, with that said, I want to talk about this nothing burger, and I want to explain to you why exactly it is a nothing burger. Yeah, I'm 3 months late, don't care, still want to talk about it. Well, hey, listen, there's actually a silver lining to me being a lazy fuck and putting off making this video and being so late on the topic of this SDK shit and the supposed second coming and this great blessing that Valve has bestowed on us. You know, because, you know, the narrative around this SDK bullshit in TF2 was that, you know, Valve is showing that they really care about us. You know, they really care about the players. They really care about modders, and they really care about, you know, more mods being made and shit like that. They're just so great. They're such a benevolent, nice, brilliant company. We should all be sucking their fucking dick. You know, like that was the narrative basically that you were being fed. Now, see, if I made this video like 3 months ago or whatever, since, you know, when it was fresh news, I would have been speculating and I would have been throwing shit at Valve and I would have been saying, well, I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that this piece of shit company is actually working, you know, in our interests and in anyone's fucking interest outside of themselves. Like, I really just don't see this as something that is actually like some sort of like important big step for mods or whatever, right? And I don't think Valve really gives a shit. If I made the video back then, I would have been speculating, but I'm making the video now, and I could tell you for certain that Valve doesn't actually give a fuck about you, me, or anyone that's making mods or wants to play mods or whatever. You know? Because if you've been paying any attention, and I have, I kept my ear to the ground, you know, regarding the modding scene for certain games, certain Valve titles like Counter-Strike, you may have heard in two separate instances of Valve going out there and shutting down very big, impressive, genuinely awesome looking mods for Counter-Strike. Just straight up going out there, getting their legal team, and shutting everything the fuck down on work that people have been putting in for fucking years. And thousands of people myself included, were showing interest in these mods, and we saw a lot of potential, and I was legitimately excited to at least try these things out because they looked pretty awesome. Of course, I'm talking about CS Classic Offensive and Counter-Strike Legacy, two separate instances where Valve came in and shut these mods down. Yeah, guys, Valve cares. They truly care. They care about us. They care about the players. They care about the games, and they care about mods and shit like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, give me a fucking break. How far have the mighty fallen? Truly is fucking depressing to think about, and it reaffirms my position on Valve. In the past decade or so, they have just become a piece of shit company. It's time for everyone to accept that, okay? Stop being delusional. Take off the rose-tinted glasses and take a look at this company objectively, and you see a fucking turd. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. These cocksuckers built their fucking company. They made a fortune off of mods, right? And now that they're set for life and that they made their fucking billions, they made all their fucking money through modding, right? Now that they did that, they're not sending the ladder down there for the up-and-comers. They're not going to let the fucking plebs that didn't get in on the ground floor have the same fucking luck. Nah, they're going to get rich from mods, and they're going to tell you, the guy who's trying to make that shit, the guy who's trying to do that today, they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. And the absolute worst part is that they're still going to posture and they're still going to pretend, and I'm still going to have to hear this bullshit-ass narrative, when it comes to TF2 with this SDK bullshit about how Valve is actually a great company and about how they actually care about modders and they want to see mods being made. Give me a fucking break, dude. Like, fuck off. If there's a mod that's actually really fucking good that comes out and Valve feels threatened by it, and they're like, oh shit, this could actually compete with our actual games. And, we could lose revenue when people go from our games to these mods. And, people are going to be leaving our fucking casinos. And, that's just not good. And, they could just shut you down at any moment, And they've already done that, and they've already shown through practice that they are not going to shy away from doing that. So the idea that this SDK is going to bring in some fucking new epic age of modding, no, sorry. And speaking of new, I just want to point out, there's nothing new about mods being made for TF2 specifically. That's been happening since the fucking Big Bang. Custom content has always been there. It's always been available. You could always play interesting new kooky-ass game modes and ideas and concepts through the community server browser, And, we didn't need an SDK for all these years. We were perfectly fine. You have a great amount of very interesting and fun to play custom content that has always been available. So why should I be excited for mods when mods for TF2 have already been made since forever? I really don't get it. Actually, I got a funny story about this SDK shit. This is truly comic irony that you couldn't make up. When this patch came out, with this SDK announcement, and you could make all these mods, and now we can have mods for TF2. When that update came out, it broke source mod. So ironically, this update that has given us this SDK, it has given the modders the power to make mods, and we can have a new revolution of modding for Team Fortress 2. It actually fucking broke 99% of plugins and mods that have been created through source mod. So, ironically, this update that was supposed to be good for mods actually destroyed them and made them non-functional for 15 hours or some shit. And I know this personally because, I got a server that I fucking play on all the time. It's called castaway.tf, and it uses a source mod. It uses a plugin. It uses a custom-made fucking thing, for weapon reverts, right? And it completely broke with the SDK update. It wasn't a big deal. At the end of the day, like by tomorrow, we had the thing fixed. Source mod was working again. But I just think it's funny. I think, like the irony, there is something like comical about this. That this SDK comes in, and I'm told about this modding revolution that's going to happen. And the only thing that happened is all the mods, like the fucking like hundreds and thousands of mods that have been created already before this SDK shit was even a fucking thing that anyone thought of, they like broke for a day. That is the result of the fucking SDK. That is fucking funny. But, my point here is that, of course, I'm not saying anything. Maybe we're going to get some interesting mods coming out through this SDK. Maybe there's going to be some great things. But, as far as I can tell, like all the good mods that have been made for TF2 already, like, like you're not going to make anything that's better than Balloon Race. Okay. Like, I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. I think we've already peaked with the mods. And, anything that I care about, like all the plugins that you can make, all the changes that you can make, all the custom content that you could fucking, make, like it's already been made. Like what the fuck do I care? Like I already have a lot of shit that I could fucking use. Of course, my favorite plugin is the fucking weapon reverse that we use on Castaway. And, this SDK just doesn't make a meaningful like difference in any way. Like that's all I'm saying. I guess I should be excited about the fact that like total conversions for TF2 can now be officially put on Steam. But I'm just gonna say that like I'm not excited. Like why would I be? Like the one total conversion that like I know of is fucking TF2 Classic. And I said it once, I'll say it again. Ain't nothing classic about TF2 Classic. Do I give a fuck that they have a Steam store page now? No, doesn't make any fucking difference to me. I don't see the big fucking deal. And, I reaffirm my point. Like, everything that I want to change in TF2, everything, all the problems that you fucking have to deal with in TF2 that you want to fix, like, as far as I'm concerned, you can fix all of those through plugins and source mods that already exist that have nothing to do with SDK. Right? Like what we use on Castaway, for example. We use the Quickplay rule set, which doesn't even require a fucking plugin. That's just a few console commands, right? And we do have a weapon reverse plugin, which of course that is very important. That is massive. And again, that does not require the SDK in any fucking way. And the another mod that I use is No Hats mod, which I recommend. Absolutely amazing. That didn't need this SDK shit. Like you already had a fucking slew of plugins and custom mods that you could have used, and you can modify the game inside TF2 without making some sort of separate version or some total conversion. Like you can change everything that you want. You can fix the graphics. You can make TF2 actually look good again, right? Like you can replace like weapon models. You can do all of this shit without like making a separate version of TF2 because you really don't need to do that. Like I don't understand why anyone would want to do that, And the stupid ass narrative that I've heard some bullshit that this lets TF2 live forever because now you can make your own TF2. It's just like you always could. You could make your own TF2 and you could put that TF2 inside TF2 inside the community server browser. Make your own fucking server. Put in a bunch of plugins, a bunch of mods, and you can make it whatever the fuck you want to be already. Like you could already transform the game in such a massive way, and you don't need to make like a total conversion mod and make like a separate client for it, just to fix the game. Like you could fix basically everything inside TF2, right? And like trying to like fucking like saying that the solution to TF2's problems is to abandon it and to replace it with some other fucking bullshit client. Like anyone who says that, you're fucking stupid. So in summary, this SDK shit, big nothing burger. Okay, it's a big nothing, right? Like Quickplay deserved a hell of a lot more discussion than this. That's all I'm saying. Now I got something else I want to talk about real quick.
And there's something else I want a piece in. Casual. Vote for me on the TF2 workshop, and I might end up there.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I gotta tell you, this is some funny shit. See, I'm out there running as far as I can from casual. I'm trying to get as far away from that piece of shit as humanly possible. I'd rather go to a fucking deserted island in the fucking Pacific Ocean than put up with casual. And you got this mobster cocksucker who's like, hey, vote for me on the workshop so I can get it casual. I can get it to casual, man. Get the fuck out of my fucking, like, what the, like, come on. So if you don't know what this mobster bullshit is, well, let me explain to you. It's VIP mode. Yeah, that mode, that game mode that was not put into Team Fortress 2 specifically because it was tested, and the rocket scientists and astronauts at Valve, after extensive play testing, figured out very quickly, in fact, that this actually plays like fucking shit. This is terrible. Like, this is not fun to play. We're not putting this into the game. This sucks. It's really not that hard to fucking figure out. If you've ever played through an escort mission once in your fucking life in a video game, you know that shit sucks, right? And we're talking about single-player games. Now, you put an escort mission in a fucking multiplayer shooter, it doesn't take a fucking wizard to figure out that this shit is gonna blow. It doesn't take a fucking genius to figure out that given like one guy and letting one 6-year-old Mexican child have a fucking extreme amount of influence over the game and how the round is gonna go. That's gonna be a shit experience for everyone involved. Like, you don't need to be a genius to figure that out, right? But hey, these fucking geniuses behind this piece of shit, they really cracked the code. Their solution to VIP being horrible and not fun to play is to make the VIP guy that you have the escort. They basically made him like an Overwatch like tank character, and he has like 1,000 health. He does more damage than anyone else, and he like fucking has AOE MOBA heals and shit. And that's the solution. You just make him an overpowered, hey, they made him an actual fucking like RPG MMO boss. Like, I guess I can't talk shit because listen, we already have an MMORPG boss in TF2. It's called the Sniper. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. So really, it's not that big of a deal. Get the fuck out of here, man. It's like Robin Walker, peace be upon him, and his band of brave men figured out that VIP sucks dick, escort missions blow, giving one guy an exceptional amount of influence over how the round is going to go is a fucking terrible idea. It is, in fact, antithetical to the philosophy of Team Fortress 2. And he said, you know what? What if we just made the escort thing? What if we escorted an inanimate object instead of a player? And we like made a bunch of rails, and you have to like fucking push a fucking bomb into a hole. And oh wait, that's how Payload was born. Like why the fuck are we backtracking 20 years and getting an inferior version of a game mode that's already in the game that 95% of the people playing this game today are already fucking playing at all times? Like, we already have VIP, but good. It's called Payload, and everyone's already playing it. Why the fuck does this need to be in the game? What the fuck? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Forget about the fact that this slop is an abomination from a gameplay standpoint. And, that should be reason enough. That should be reason already as to why this should never be considered an official part of Team Fortress 2. An official part of the game. That should be reason enough. But forget about that. Let's not even talk about that. This character, this fucking caricature of a supposed Italian American, this shit is actually offensive. I know I'm not exactly the face of political correctness. We're not exactly going very deep into social justice on this channel right here. But I gotta say, like, this is too much. Like, this is too much even for me. This is too fucked up for me to even think about. That this is something that could be added into TF2 officially. No fucking way. Fun fact. Maybe you didn't know about this. Maybe you didn't hear. They didn't go up there and tell you. Italians were still getting lynched in the U.S. up until the fucking 1950s. Okay, and that's a fact. You can look it up. That is a fact. They were still stringing up innocent little Luigi down in Louisiana. And when you think about that, and when you take a look at the painful historical context that we're talking about, and we're taking a look at Team Fortress 2, putting this fucking despicable caricature of an Italian American into the game and portraying this as an official part of the game, that would be the final straw. That would be the end of Team Fortress 2 forever. Oh, I'm the mobster, baby. My name's Tony. I'm a big fat guy, and I eat pizza, and I smoke cigars, and I'm the mobster. Because every Italian is mobbed up. Well, first of all, there is no mafia. Second of all, I am offended. That's all I'm going to say. I am legitimately repulsed and disgusted by the unfair, disgusting, despicable portrayal. A completely inaccurate stereotyping that this dog shit ass mod that is trying to fucking weasel its way into casual. Like, yeah, let's put in the fucking mobster to TF2. Oh, so funny. He's a mobster. He's eating pizza and he has a cigar. He's mobbed up because, that's just so fucking funny. That's so hilarious. Go fuck yourself. You know what it is? This slop? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's anti-Italian discrimination. So I got a message for you, Mr. Smith, with the cookies, Hey, yeah, I got something to tell you. Listen, you want to put in the mobster into TF2, and you want to make that an official part of the game, you go ahead. But you do that shit at your own risk, because let me tell you something, I will fucking see you in court if this disgusting, despicable, offensive caricature of an Italian American gets put into Team Fortress 2 officially. I'll see your ass in court. I will be contacting the Italian American Anti-Defamation Organization, and we're going to have a fucking talk, you and me. Believe me. Don't do it. Do not fucking do it. And the sad part is, I can't even say that some sort of Pandora's box is going to be opened if the mobster gets added into the game officially. As retarded as that would be, as fucking horrific and stupid as that would be, you gotta remember, fucking Versus Saxton Hale is an official game mode in Team Fortress 2 these days. It's just, the bar is already open. You can basically add in whatever the fuck you want. All this bullshit like you heard before, we need prop hunt to be officially in the game. Well, let's put in this gun game garbage into the game officially. Again, none of that should be in the game officially. But if Versus Saxton Hale is an unofficial game mode, I mean, at this point, really, I don't know. At this point, just who even fucking cares? Anything can be TF2, right? You've always had mods for TF2. You've always had the ability to do whatever the fuck you want with plugins. You can make your server at the fucking My Little Pony masturbation wheel or whatever the fuck it is you want to make it. And, everybody was okay with it because, everyone could do their own thing and everybody could have their own server and everybody could go wherever the fuck they wanted. And it was just obvious that this is a modded, different version of the game. This is not the official game, and you don't have to make it official because that's fucking retarded. And then you have something like Versus Saxton Hale, best example. A community game mode that's been there since the Big Bang, since the fucking old days, that you could have played on community servers all this fucking time, all these years, perfectly playable. Let's make it an official part of the game for no fucking reason. And what happened is, not only did you not make this game mode better by making it official, I think everyone can agree. Anyone that actually knows, Versus Saxton Hale and Freak Fortress, and if you've tried both versions, I think everyone can agree that the community version of it was actually fucking twice as good. Even something as simple as the voice acting. How the fuck is the unofficial voice acting for the community version of Versus Saxton Hale better than the official fucking shit that we see in casual? I don't know. But, nobody wins from slop becoming an official part of the game. Nobody wins even from good, potentially fun mods being added into the fucking game officially, because those mods, those different versions of the game that are very obviously something different from Team Fortress 2 do not actually improve when they become official, they don't. And there's no reason for it to be official when it's perfectly fucking playable on the community server browser. You know, like the fucking plebs need to learn to use that thing and need to remember that, oh, you could actually use this and you don't need like a fucking, you don't need a federal like decree declaring that this is Team Fortress 2 and you can play it through our official fucking totalitarian matchmaking system. Like, you don't need that shit. You know what happens when these wacky ass game modes that obviously aren't TF2, when they get added into the game officially, is, you know, the concept of what Team Fortress 2 actually truly is at its core, and what is officially Team Fortress 2, that shit gets diluted and confused and nobody actually knows what it means. It's like it doesn't mean anything anymore. And the fucking game modes themselves, these custom like mods, they actually get worse when they become official. You know, that's what happens. So really, like, all I'm trying to say is that, you know, like, you don't need your wacky ass, different, kooky fucking game mode to be in fucking casual. You don't need it to be official. It's perfectly playable on community servers. You know, of course, you know the reason why they want to make it official. You know why they wanted to get it to casual, you know, as they're fucking rubbing their fucking hands together. They're like, oh, we thinking about that check we can get, which, you know, I sympathize, I understand, but also I'm going to say, go fuck yourself. Unless I'm getting a cut of that check, I don't give a fuck. This shit is not TF2, and it shouldn't be official TF2. You stay on your fucking server and fuck off. Versus Saxton Hale is already too much. You know, that being official TF2 is already too fucked up. You know, if anything, we need to remove shit like that from casual. Better yet, I mean, even better yet, remove casual from this fucking plane of existence. Of course, I am of the opinion that casual matchmaking should be destroyed. I mean, that would be the best case scenario. But, you know, like, don't add to the already overinflated amount of fucking game modes, like custom bullshit that we have that is considered official TF2. No mobster slop, please. No thank you. And, you know, I'm just going to say it. You know, community mods and community game modes are better when they actually go balls to the wall and they feel completely free to do whatever the fuck they want, instead of trying their fucking hardest to get into casual and fucking limiting themselves in some way because, you know, you got to keep it official. You know, like, no, like, fucking, like, please. I got to say, it's fascinating. You know, Team Fortress 2 is the game where nothing ever happened, like, ever. You know, like we had like one big thing in the past like 9 years with the bots getting fucking destroyed, right? And we had one kind of important thing after that, which is the free-to-plays getting unmuted, which, you know, like those things shouldn't have even been separate. Like the fact that it took a fucking another year after the bots got nuked for free-to-plays to get unmuted is already a sad fucking commentary in itself. But, you know, outside of those two occasions, in the past like 8-9 years at this point, nothing really happened. And yet somehow, in this game where nothing ever happens, we have this fucking ridiculous ass news cycle where every 2 months there's some big fucking distraction that the fucking e-celebs are pushing that is being astroturfed as the fucking second coming. Ooh, we got the Source SDK. Like no, this is nothing. This is a fucking nothing burger, man. This does not mean anything. Ooh, we have the mobsta. Ooh, we should put prop hunt into the game. Ooh, we should put gun game into the game. Like you know, like all this bullshit that like is not addressing the fucking elephant in the room, which is the fact that the game is still fucking broken on a fundamental level. The basic way to play this game, casual matchmaking, after almost a decade, does not fucking function properly. But ignore that. Forget about that. Forget about the fact that people are saying that Quickplay needs to come back. Let's not have that discussion. Let's not have that debate, because that might actually improve the game. That might actually get us a change that is meaningful and makes the game actually better. Instead, let's take a look at dog shit. Let's look at these distractions, these meaningless little fucking smoke screens like the fucking SDK, and let's pretend that this is important, this is big, and in fact, this is going to save the game. Let's save Team Fortress 2 by abandoning it, by abandoning the idea that there's actually something that we can meaningfully improve in the game, and instead let's say, oh, someone's gonna make a total conversion mod, and instead we can we can move on from TF2 to there. That's how you save TF2. Go fuck yourself. TF2 is like a house with a fucking giant hole in the roof, right? And the entire thing is leaking. Rain is just flooding in. It's pouring in, and the entire house is fucked up because of it, right? There's a massive hole on top on the fucking roof, and instead of the hole getting fixed, you have this fat guy that climbs up there, and like every 2 months, he like pours peanuts down into the fucking house. Right, that fat guy is, of course, Gabe Newell or Eric Smith. And I guess Eric Smith, instead of peanuts, he's giving us some cookies. But, like that's what's happening with Team Fortress 2. Like, you can give me as many fucking peanuts as you want. But at the end of the day, fix the fucking roof. That's what I'm saying. Fix the actual problems with this game that you can fix very easily. You have the resources, you have the capability. Like that is what we should be focused on. But instead, everybody's looking at the fucking peanuts and pretending like, oh, look, we're getting peanuts. Things are getting better. No, the fucking house is still like flooding in from fucking rain pouring in because the hole has not been fixed in like a decade, right? Well, I mean, at least they put the fucking fire out. Like there used to be a fucking fire. Like the entire house was like in flames and everybody was choking on fucking toxic fumes because there was just a fire that was burning for like 9 years with the bots. At least the fire's out. But it would be nice if someone plastered up that fucking hole in the roof, and we actually had a fucking house that wasn't completely fucked up. That's all I'm saying. Oh, but oh my god, we're gonna get new MVM missions. We're gonna get MVM. Another fucking distraction. Great, MVM, listen, I got nothing against MVM, believe me. Nobody loves MVM as much as I do. Believe me. But let me just tell you something. It's not the actual game. It's not the real game. I've already played through MVM as fun as it was. It was good, but I was done with that shit 10 years ago. I'm just saying. I have no problem with MVM getting updated. I have no problem with this other small potatoes bullshit. But I just want to remind you, it's small potatoes bullshit, and we still have a big issue. The biggest issue for Team Fortress 2 that is still not solved, and that needs to be solved, and it's called bringing back Quickplay. You're right. I'm never going to stop campaigning for this shit. I'm never going to stop reminding people about this because this is what actually matters. Because guess what? Nobody's going to give a fuck about the mobsta in 5 years. Nobody is going to give a fuck about these new fucking MVM missions that are going to be made in 5 years. Nobody is going to care. Okay? What's gonna matter in 5 years for TF2 is does the game, does the main way to play the game suck ass and doesn't work and doesn't function properly, or does it actually work and is it actually fun to play? That is what matters, okay? Bring back Quickplay, you fucks. Don't fucking forget it. Okay, now let me use my special GABA sense to give you a premonition of what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Okay, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to get the summer update of 2025 for TF2, and what's going to happen is we're going to get a couple dozen shitty hats. We're going to get some maps that suck ass. We're probably not going to get the mob stuff. Hopefully, not going to get the casual. Let's hope. And I just want to tell you that, hats and terrible maps that nobody's going to play after 2 weeks, that is not a meaningful update. That is not something that matters. And that is not something you should consider a special, interesting event. Okay? It is nothing. You should ignore it, in fact. You should do yourself a favor. Don't spend any fucking money on the bullshit that's going to get added. Don't buy any fucking keys. Don't buy any crates. Don't buy any stupid hats or taunts that are going to come in this update or, in general for TF2 because it's just not worth it. Listen, when Quickplay comes back, when Valve brings back Quickplay, you can buy as much bullshit as you want. But until that happens, if you're buying shit I mean, you're essentially just feeding a system that is just taking a dump on you. Okay, that's all I'm gonna tell you. Don't let anyone tell you that these like little meaningless distractions actually fucking mean anything for the game until Quickplay comes back. Until we see some balance changes or new weapons, we don't have any actual updates. Okay, we have little profiteering missions that Valve comes in to get their fucking bag. Okay, that's all I want to say. So when that summer update drops, I want you to go out there and read the patch notes. And if you don't see quick play, if you don't see new weapons or balance changes, and if you don't see meaningful improvements to casual, you didn't get an update. Just forget about all these distractions that you're going to be seeing, and you keep your eye on the ball. And the ball is, of course, quick play. And, until quick play is back, Valve doesn't deserve a fucking cent from you. Okay? Don't buy any fucking hats, please. Like, they're just profiting from you. And, they got to give something in return if they want that profit. That's my philosophy. On top of that, stop playing casual. Okay? Do yourself a favor. If you want quick play back, you should play on servers that run the quick play rule set. Just coincidentally, pure coincidence, I heard of a good server that does exactly that. It's called castaway.tf. You should check it out. I'm going to link all that shit in the comments and the description as usual. You should join that server, totally. With that, thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time, or I'll see you on Castaway. Good night. See you later.
Troll, nigga. If you try and kick me, it means you got trolled.
Medic. Just pop, nigga. What the fuck are you waiting for? You rained that... Dude, this kid's a fucking